Hello, this is Derek from the South Tipperary Volunteer Centre with a online video on how you go about registering an interest in volunteering with your local volunteer centre. So I suppose the first thing that you need is you need to find a website of the volunteer centre that's closest to you. Easiest way to do that is to check out volunteer.ie, where you'll find a full list of volunteer centres, and open up the homepage of the volunteer centre that's closest to your location. In this case, it's the South Tipperary Volunteer Centre is the example that I'm going to use. So when the subsequent homepage loads from your local volunteer centre, what you're looking for is the Register to Volunteer button, menu item or graphic. And on this website, here it is on the main page. Most of them will be on the main page. And all we need to do to register our interest to volunteer is to click that button and wait for the subsequent form to load. Now, it might take a couple of seconds, so please be patient. The form is from an external website. And when the form loads, you can actually see it's just a standard online form. And like any standard online form, items that have an asterisk are mandatory fields. The form has a couple of components. We have up here we have your details, which basically allows you to put in your contact details. That then comes down to the second part of the form, which is your interest and availability. What causes, what activities are you interested in? And further down along the form, when are you available to volunteer? So the days, the mornings, the evenings, the afternoons, and for how long. So I suppose the simplest way for us to walk you through the form is to actually complete a form. And what we'll do is we'll complete the form using the profile that I'm a 24-year-old male who's interested in volunteering in the youth sector. So the first details I have to supply will be my contact details, so volunteer centre staff can actually make contact with me. So I'll fill this out and I'll just put in my own name, Derek Fanning. And I'll put in a dummy address, so I'll put just say 14 Parklands Court, Clonmel. It's important that with the town or city that you put the actual town or city in the correct box, because this will enable centre staff at a later stage to target communications towards you based on the cause and the activities that you're interested in and the location in the county that you are. So just make sure that you do that. The next one is also important, which is the county. So Clonmel is in County Tipperary, so I'll select Tipperary. What this does is that when you submit your form, the volunteer centre that deals with the county that's associated with your registration will be made aware that your form has been submitted, and a member of centre staff will then be able to disposition your form, get in contact with your contact details, etc. The nationality automatically defaults to Irish, but we have a drop down list. You can just pick nationality that you are. And then another mandatory field, the email address, right? So I'm just going to put in southtipvolcentre@gmail.com, which is one that we use for training and stuff like that. So there we go. At a later stage, please ensure that this is a valid email address, because at a later stage, when you go to apply for opportunities or register an interest in certain volunteer opportunities that are advertised, the only information that you will need will be the email address that you provided at registration. So please take care to ensure that it's the correct email address, there's no spelling mistakes and the whole lot. The next field, while it's not a mandatory field, is the mobile number field, and I'd urge you, if you have a mobile, to put it in here. I'm just going to put in a dummy mobile address, or mobile number, sorry, because centre staff have the ability to text message you from our database. So we'll take, for example, if you're interested in doing festivals or once-off events, we can create text distribution lists, which allows us to keep in contact with all the volunteers at the event, and it makes for a more pleasant volunteer experience. So while it mightn't be mandatory, I'd encourage you to do it there. The next other number field is you can put in a home number. It's not mandatory, a work number, whatever you want, or you can just leave it blank. We said from this little exercise that I'm a male 24, so the age is going to be 16 to 25, and I'm a male. And that's the first half of the registration process done. Right. So what we'll have a look at now is the second part, which is our main interest in availability. So the first one, how did you hear about us? This is just information that the centre will use to see what kind of campaigns are marketing, how can we market to increase volunteerism in Ireland as a whole. So use the drop down box, so I can say I just searched the internet, a Google search, and it was the internet. And what's my main reason for volunteering now is that I want to get some experience in the youth sector, right? So to gain or improve skills. Have you volunteered before? Automatically defaults to no. If it happens that you have volunteered before and you'd like to provide that detail, just change it to yes, and a text box appears. And I'm going to say that I volunteered with a youth club in 2011. can put as much or as little detail as you want in here. And the main causes that I'm interested in supporting now, as we said, would be youth. So we can put in as many secondary causes as we want. So I'm also interested, we'll say, in um, people with physical disability. So we can put in physical disabilities, and you can check the list here. You can put in as many as you want, maybe social inclusion, whatever you deem necessary. The more information you have in the form, the easier it is for centre staff to target opportunities towards you. So what's the main activity that you'd like to participate in? So it's youth work, so I'll pick youth work from the list. Right. And are there any other activities? Well, I'm kind of fairly good with office work, so I can include office work in there. And I like technology and the internet, so we'll put that in there as well. You can put in, as said, as many or as little as you want. So here you have the opportunity to tell us more about your interests. Like, so I can put in here, say I like photography and walking, hiking. You can put in as much or as little. And then the next part is, what are the main skills you bring to your volunteering role? So here's where you have a chance under these headings to call out, skills that you have that a community-based not-for-profit organisation may benefit from if you volunteered with them. So let's say, for example, because I've volunteered before in the youth, I put in youth here. Like education and training. I like community development and have experience in it. And I also have experience in computer, web-based and web design. Right. So that's it. There's a box here that you can put in as much as or as little as you want, again, on qualifications or experience and stuff like that you have. So I'm going to put in here, I have first aid certificate from the Red Cross. All additional information. The more information you provide at registration, the better the volunteer experience that you will have. You can also change this information at any time by just contacting your local volunteer centre. So here's where we let centre staff know what organisation time you're available to volunteer with organisations. So I'm going to be free on Wednesday evenings and Saturday afternoons. So I just click Wednesday evening and I can click Saturday afternoon, and I'm free to volunteer, we'll say, for example, up to the end of 2012, to the end of this year. So from here, it's short-term volunteering, and I can volunteer up to the end 2013. Sorry. So that's basically it. So it's down to the amount of information you want to put in. The more you put in, the better chance you have of finding volunteer opportunities that will match the criteria that you're looking for. The last part is kind of small bit, is just the terms and conditions. You need to accept and read them. It's not like a lot of other websites. These terms and conditions are only about an A4 page. It's well worth having a read. It just tells you what the volunteer centres do with your data and what your data will be used for. So have the quick read here, close the resultant window, tick the checkbox, and then all you do is click register to volunteer. And that's it. You've now registered. You'll get this confirmation mail back into the email address that you supplied at registration, and you'll see the screen here saying that your registration is complete. And a member of the volunteer centre staff that's associated to the centre, that's aligned to the county that you use in your registration, will be in contact with you shortly to take you through the next steps and provide contact details. I hope this helped. Thank you.